In this example, we're given the problem in words and we're asked to increase a ratio. For instance, we know that the ratio of children to adults in a playground is 5:2. But we know the actual number of children is 35. How many adults are there? The way we go about the problem is to make up a column for all the information we have on children and all the information we have on adults. So we know that the ratio of children to adults is 5:2. We also know there are 35 children. So then we have to ask ourselves, as we've gone from 5 to 35, what have we done? From 5 to 35, you've multiplied 5 by 7 to go from 5 to 35. So therefore, what would you need to do to 2 to increase it by the same factor? You'll need to multiply it by 7 as well. And that will give us 2 times 7 is 14, so we know that the number of adults in the playground must be 14. Now that's all very well when we can find a common factor of the ratio and the quantity. In this case, it was 7. But if the numbers weren't whole numbers, it might be a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to show you how you can work this out if the numbers are more difficult. So we begin with the information exactly the same in the same columns. The information regarding children, 5 is the ratio, 35 is the quantity. The information regarding adults, 2 was the ratio value, x was the unknown, which was the number of adults. And that's what we need to find. And so we write x is equal to, and then x is equal to the diagonals, which have numbers in them, multiplied. So 35 times 2 divided by the number diagonally opposite the x. So again, the two diagonal numbers, 2 and 35 multiplied and then divided by the number diagonally opposite the x. So 35 times 2 divided by 5, well, if you pop that into your calculator, that will give you also an answer of 14. So either way you get the same answer. It's just the second method, which I call cross multiplication, will give you an answer if your numbers happen to be very unfriendly and difficult to deal with. Our second example, similar sort of thing. Let's get this moving a little bit. The dosage of cough medicine for an adult relative to that of a child under 8 is 7:3. If the adult dose is 4.9 millilitres, what is the child's dose? Well, for this one, again, I've started off the columns for you. The adult came first this time. Adult to child is 7:3, so let's write that information down. That's the ratio, 7:3. Then we're told the adult dose is 4.9 millilitres. Just write the millilitres there. What we're looking for is the child's dose. We'll call it x. There's x. So now to find x, we're going to do the cross multiplication. X is going to equal the two numbers on the diagonal. Just looking for a different colour here so I can make it nice and colourful for you. The two numbers on the diagonal. So there they are in green. 4.9 multiplied by 3, and that's going to then be divided by the value diagonally opposite the x, which is the 7, and that's going to give you an answer of 2.1 millilitres. Now in this example, the question was asked in words, so when we find the answer we must also write the answer in words. So now we can say that the child's dose of cough medicine is 2.1 millilitres. Okay, now the next problem, somewhere where we use ratios all the time when we compare currencies. So example 3 is the exchange rate between the Australian and American currency is that $1 Australian buys $1.07 American. Calculate how much an American purchase on eBay of $200 American will cost in Australian dollars. So let's have a look. We've been given information of the exchange rate between the Australian dollar, so $1 Australian buys American $1.07. So let's write Australian information in the first column, in the second column the American information. We've been told $1 buys $1.07 American, and then our purchase is in American dollars, 200 American dollars. What we're looking for is what that's going to cost in Australian dollars, so let's call it X. So now doing our cross multiplication, X is equal to the two numbers that are diagonally opposite each other in that table. So those two numbers are 1 and 200, and then divided by the value diagonally opposite the X. So it becomes 1 times 200 divide by 1.07, and that will give you an answer in Australian dollars now, which will be, if you pop it into your calculator, $186.92. So again, the cost in Australian dollars will be $186.92. Because the question is given to me in words, hence once I calculate the answer, I should give my answer in words as well.